Hey, welcome back. So here's a question for you. Are you stressed out? Are you spending all of your time in lines, running around, screaming that lights aren't changing in time? Maybe you need to relax. Maybe you need yoga. Today, we're going to talk about this thing called yoga. We're going to talk about what you could do to make your life a little more comfortable. My name is Vin Dacquino. Our guest is Rhodella. Rhodella, talk to me. You are a yoga specialist, and you deal with, it's more, I used to think yoga was an exercise program, but it's really a philosophy, isn't it?
Yes.
Talk to me a little bit about who you are and what you do.
My name is Rhodella Hughes. I am a mother of 3.
Oh.
And I had the opportunity to purchase a yoga studio up in the Adirondacks. And when I lived in Ireland for 2 years, where my second son was born, I had the opportunity to get my aromatherapy certification. So now with the essential oils and the yoga, I've kind of synergistically brought them together to create an aroma yoga style practice. And there's all different types of yoga. You've got Kundalini, you got Vinyasa, which is more of a flow, and Hatha. And I like to teach more of a Hatha style because it's more of a beginner type.
How does Hatha differ from the others?
Vinyasa is more of a flow. So it's very active, sun salutations, going from one movement, incorporating the breath with the movement, where Hatha is more breath.
Is it more meditation?
It can be. And now that you bring up meditation, I wanted to talk about that because meditation is something that a lot of people feel that they can't reach. They just can't settle themselves.
Right.
And the way I like to look at meditation is when you pray, you're speaking. And when you meditate, you're listening. So it's settling. It's
an interesting distinction.
Settling the mind and allowing the thoughts to come through. And we know in today's world it's very hard to settle the mind. And that's why yoga is such a beautiful way of creating that journey of yourself to the self, through the self.
No one can quite appreciate that as much as New Yorkers who are going in. New Yorkers are like the avenues they're trying to cross. Totally congested, constantly on the move, and there has to be a point where you just go.
Right. And the great thing about yoga, too, is you become an observer of yourself. Yeah. So I like to use the analogy of being on the highway. And what kind of a driver are you? Are you the one that just kind of like waits in the back and kind of goes with the flow, or are you the aggressive one that you just cut me off?
High beams in the left lane to tell you that's their lane. Get out.
Right. So and it's kind of like owning who you are and what you put out there. And I always like to share the story too. Like if you're in the grocery store and someone comes and kicks you, what are you going to do? Are you going to be that person that kicks them back? Are you going to be that person that calls up mom and dad and the aunts and your brothers and complain about it and just get that energy of negativity flowing? Or maybe, which is not so easy to do sometimes, find that place in you that says, are you okay? And maybe that person just lost their balance, and then you realize within your own self how you are creating your own experiences. And
I remember when I first came to New York, a friend of mine said, do you know what the definition of an instant in New York is? And I said, no. He said, the time between when the light changes and the guy behind you beeps the horn.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, waiting for a light is less than a minute. and yet you sit there and you go, come on!
Right.
You know, and it drives you nuts, and the guy
Right.
in front of you is not moving,
Right.
and the guy behind you is beeping the horn. Less than a minute. A lot of lights are 45 seconds.
Right, right.
And yet, you know, we gotta
Right.
move all the time.
And that's the thing with yoga, it's about creating space.
Yeah.
When you create space, actually in your asanas, which are your postures, and you use your breath to flow from movement to movement, you create space. And then when you inhale and create that space, and you exhale and you let it go, you can actually feel your body settle. You can feel your mind settle. And then you can observe it. You know, I mean, on my way here, I wasn't quite sure where I was coming, and there was someone in a 55 going 40, and Rhodella is like, "Hey, hurry up! I don't know where I'm going. I gotta get there." But my yoga kicks in, you know, and I'm just like, "Okay, create the space. You have no idea what this person in front of you could just be an older person that just wanted to get out and get their milk
And
that can't drive
difference
very
is
well today."
seconds. You know, when you think about going 70 miles an hour or 65, which on some roads is the speed, the difference is 5 minutes. 5 minutes in an hour.
Right, right.
That's the difference. So you go to speed limit, you know, and so it takes you 5 minutes longer.
But if
not
you
the
don't
speed.
take that opportunity to look at it,
Yeah.
you just become one of those, you know, ricochet energies that is not going to
And
get us
it's a
anywhere.
mindset.
Yes.
You have to have
Yeah.
mindset. And I mean, it's difficult for me. I've spent my life doing 5 things at once.
Yes.
You know, that's who I am.
Multitasking.
And multitasking is how I got along. You know, I was a teacher, writing books, coaching, running a family, caring for a house, doing local programs. I mean, I was running around like a madman.
And that's why yoga is so great.
Yeah.
Because it's an opportunity. Yoga is actually an opportunity for yourself.
Yeah.
Yoga complements anything you do in life.
Now, Rhodella, I know that you and I are very different because when I was 13, I was still a madman. When you were 13,
I was doing yoga.
yeah.
This was actually my first book that I started yoga. And back then, you know,
So this
I didn't
book
really,
is what really got you started?
it got me started. And I don't want to say it got me started because I didn't know back then that what I'd be doing today.
Yeah, of course.
Because I started doing yoga, and back then I kind of did it because it made me feel good. You know, I was one of 5 children. I was the oldest. We struggled. You know, my family struggled with money, but we had a very loving family. So I found for myself the yoga settling, and it brought me to a place of peace within myself with all the chaos going on.
Oh, yeah.
And
There's
then,
plenty of chaos,
and then when
especially at 13.
Yes, right. And then when I got older and I went to college, I graduated Niagara University with a BBA in accounting. And then I worked in the city, Manhattan, for almost 7 years for New York Life Insurance
Need
Company.
yoga there.
And I wasn't doing yoga so much then.
Wow.
I was more doing club, you know, Pilates or aerobics and stuff like that. And I would just go home and I would just do my stretching. And then when my husband was relocated to Ireland, and I was introduced
Did
with
you
essential
yoga in
oils.
Ireland?
I did, but not through classes or anything. I
Yeah.
kind of my own from what I remember.
Right.
And then when we came back from Ireland, I had my daughter, my last child, and we bought a house up in the Adirondacks.
Wow.
And up there was a woman who owned yoga in the Adirondacks at the time, and I used to practice with her. And in 2015, I had the opportunity to purchase the yoga studio, so that's kind of where I am now. I'm growing the studio.
Trying to get the people up there to...
Yeah, because I'm trying to show people what I see.
Yeah.
You know, I live in Katona. I've worked in Manhattan, and I know the hustle and bustle. So I've been very, very blessed to be able to go up to the Adirondacks for the past 20 years.
Wow.
And just to feel the difference in the energy. You go up there,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Oh,
the
my God.
hiking, the nature,
Oh,
you know.
I know.
And I used to say to
know.
myself, how blessed I am. And always had this vision of being able to do it for other people,
There's
giving the
even
opportunity.
the air there is completely different.
Yes,
It's,
yes.
It's wild.
Yes.
I go up there pretty often, and it's beautiful.
It's
It is
absolutely
beautiful.
gorgeous.
So now you have some things here. You have a strap. This is to strap down those people who won't stay still.
Yeah, no, actually in yoga, there's actually props, which are
Okay.
basically supports. You know, a lot of people don't like to do yoga because they feel like they can't get on the floor. You can
Right.
do yoga sitting in a chair. So I just brought a couple of props just to show. Blocks are really good. So like when you do certain asanas and you're
So
supposed
what
to...
do you do with a block? You sit
A
on
block,
it?
you can sit on it. You can use it to rest your head, like if you're in child's pose and your head's down and you really can't open up, because you don't want to get into a position where you're feeling pain in a sense of like a sharp pain, you know,
Right.
because you don't want to hurt yourself. You like if you start yoga and you know you can't do a back bend, you don't want to try to do a back bend.
No.
You have to gradually create the flexibility, which is creating space. You know, not feeling like on that highway you need to
Yeah.
get up, you know, because
Right.
that's not going to work in yoga. You
No.
got to like relax and create the space.
Yeah.
So we use blocks for, you know, props. The straps we can use, and I was going to invite you
Uh-oh.
to show you how in the office while you're sitting in the chair, there are certain,
Okay.
you can do it with a strap or without a strap. So if you just take your strap
Okay.
and kind of bring it in front of you,
Okay.
put it between your thumb and your pointer
Okay.
finger, and kind of put your arms out.
Okay.
Can you see me? And then with your arms about shoulder width apart, so kind of bring them in a little bit
Okay.
this way.
Oh, in.
There you go. So
Okay.
that's good. And then see how far you can bring your arms up, keeping your elbows straight. Not too much to go. You know, just
Oh.
feel where you're open. If you
Okay.
if you now right now if you need to, you could let your strap through and open it
Okay.
up a little bit and see if you can just create more space with your under your armpits and opening
Okay.
it up. We carry so much congestion
Yeah.
and everything in this area. And then while you're up here, you can use the support of your hands where if you take your right hand and guide your left over, right,
Okay.
and keep it up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a nice long spine. You always want to be assertive to
Yeah.
your spine, nice long, as if you have an imaginary thread pulling up on the top of your crown. And then you can go to the other side. Can you feel it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it's just simple gestures like this, or asanas that you can do, little movements.
Especially, you know, I go to the gym almost every day, and I'm doing all these weights, and,
Yeah.
you know, and it's good, but it makes it so
Yeah.
tight.
I did a half marathon once, and it was great. And I realized that I don't need to work so hard to be well.
Yeah.
You know, the one thing that I've learned in my studies over the past 5-10 years is that there's 4 parts of our being. And we have the physical, we have the mental, we have the emotional, and the spiritual. And they all manifest in the body. So a lot of times, you know, someone will say, oh, my hip hurts or this hurts. And if you really take a time to look at the emotional things going on in your life, your spiritual side,
yeah.
your mental, your thoughts become you. You are your thoughts. So when you can hone in on that and see how it is manifesting in your body, I think it's a better way of healing
Right.
than just finding a pill
focus
that's
on
going to
what-
cure it.
What ails you and why?
Yeah, the why. And I've always been someone's been very in tune to my body. I gave up drinking soda at the age of 9.
Oh, wow.
Because I just paid attention to every time I drank it, I didn't feel good, you know, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna stop drinking it. And I'm like, yeah, something to do with that. You know, so I've always been someone that's like, all right, I don't feel good, why? You know, so I think it's something that we need to just tune into a little, and that's what yoga is. It's allowing yourself to pay attention and be an observer of yourself. And
Makes sense.
yes, yeah.
All right, now, what are the balls for?
The balls are, I've been using these in my practices. Grab this
Okay.
ball, and if you just take the ball and put it on your palm,
Okay.
and then kind of create a square underneath. So if you start at the knuckle of the pointer finger and just let the ball roll across the knuckles, and then bring it down towards the wrist, and then kind of create a square, and it just opens up the knuckles. People with arthritis in the hands love this. It
Yeah.
opens up, brings the energy back to the fingertips, and because everything is connected, this goes right to your elbow, right up to your
for
shoulder.
carpal tunnel.
Yes, yes. Now, after I wanted to you to show this, like after you do one
I can
hand,
feel it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now take your other hand that you haven't done,
Right.
and see how it settles onto. Can you feel it?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then you just do the other side. So it's just simple
Yeah, it's
things
very
that you
simple,
could do
but
in
you
the
can
office,
do it at the desk.
At the
Yeah,
desk, just
yeah.
open it up, because we're always like this on the computer,
Right.
and it's just
God.
a little gesture
Spend hours on that
to
computer.
open it up. Yeah.
Wow.
And it feels great.
I like the feel of this.
And then you can go the opposite
It's like a
way.
rub down.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a massage.
Yeah.
June, my wife, you watching? This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
I'm actually,
can it work this way? Look. Oh,
yes, and you could do them on your feet too, when you're standing up on the bottom of your
it
feet.
actually feels good.
Yes.
It really does. Oh.
This Saturday, I'm going to be having a booth at the Jillco Yorktown Chamber of Commerce
Really?
in Jefferson Valley Mall. So if you stop by, I'm going to be handing these out.
Oh, hey,
So
hear that?
come and get your free-
Get yourself a free ball.
A free ball. For
Sounds
your,
good.
Yes.
I'll be there.
Great.
Yeah, it's at the Jefferson Valley Mall.
Jefferson Valley Mall
And they
on
have
Saturday. It's a
exhibition?
home and wellness fair.
Wow.
Yeah.
Exhibits.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. That's wonderful. I'm gonna have to come and check that out.
Yes, yes.
A
yeah.
wholeness and wellness
Yes,
fair.
and then also there I'm going to have Young Living essential oils.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Talk to me about these oils.
Yep. Essential oils are nature's gift from God.
Okay.
They are a natural way of treating or healing ourselves, not only physically, but both emotionally and mentally and spiritually. So my go-tos are peppermint and frankincense. They're both anti-inflammatories. Peppermint is more of a stimulant. It's good for your digestion. It's good for migraines. And frankincense is a good antidepressant. It's
good enough
very
for baby
good for-
Jesus.
Exactly, exactly. And
So
the
what
oils-
does frankincense actually do? I mean, we've all heard of he received gifts of myrrh and frankincense.
Yeah, frankincense
now,
and
why
myrrh are
did he
both
bring him
oils.
frankincense? What was it supposed to do
Well,
for him?
actually, frankincense had more monetary value than gold back then.
Wow.
And that's how you could see how evolution has changed.
Yes.
And you're going to see that essential oils are going to come back because they work. They work,
Wow.
and they work with your circulation. They're anti-inflammatories. They work with your brain, Just to use it as an example, I'm going to let you try it.
Uh-oh.
Just take a sniff of this, of the sacred frankincense, and let me know what comes to mind.
Oh.
Because the scents are triggers. You may have someone that loves the smell of an apple pie baking, where you may have someone that may had a bad experience smelling apple pie, and when they smell that apple pie, it triggers something. And when that triggers something, that gives you an opportunity to let it surface and really allow.
The word that comes to mind when I smell this is ointment.
Yes, it could
it's
be
like-
frankincense.
Yeah, we used to.
Very different.
When we were younger, we did have some oils. I guess they were oils, and there was to, if you had like a bruise or a pain,
Yep.
and you used to rub it on, and that's
Yeah.
There was a company years ago. It was called Watkins Company.
Okay.
And Watkins had a horse. It was a horse liniment, and they realized that this horse liniment was wonderful for people. And people began to use it. And they used this Watkins ointment for all aches and pains.
I love it, yeah.
And it immediately relieved and relaxed the entire
does,
body.
yes,
That's what this reminds me.
Yeah, and this one is peppermint. This one,
Peppermint.
yeah, and I should mention the ways that you can use the oils.
Yeah.
You can use them topically.
Oh, yeah.
So you can put them with a carrier oil like almond oil, grapeseed oil. My go-to is red raspberry seed oil. It's very good for eczema.
My daughter is big time oil.
Okay, so you know.
And she tries to convince me all the time, you need this oil for this and this oil for that. And that oil for, and her bathroom has like all these oils.
Oh, I love it, yeah.
And
yeah.
so
you can use it
do they all
topically.
do the same thing?
No,
or?
they have different things. So like peppermint is a stimulant where peppermint, rosemary, I keep right in my shower. I take a drop of rosemary, I put it in my shampoo, and it goes right into your skin.
Wow.
So, you know, our skin is our #1 organ, and it absorbs whatever you put into it, onto your skin, and right into your organs. So this goes right to your tissues, to your fascia, your circulatory system, your skeletal systems, and they work, you know, and they...
And I imagine they're for different parts of the body. I mean, is there like facial oils?
Well, myrrh is actually very good
Myrrh?
for your face. And Melrose, which is a blend. Young Living makes a lot of blends, and when you take one oil and you blend it with another oil, they become synergistic, making them more powerful.
Wow.
Which is nice. Why I like yoga with essential oils, because it makes a very powerful practice.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's beautiful.
And it makes the room smell nice.
Yeah, and then another way you can do it is diffuse it. You have diffusers where you take a couple drops of oil.
Yeah, she does that
and
too.
you put it in, depending on the diffuser, you can either use distilled water or just regular tap water, and you just diffuse it into the air, and that goes into your lungs.
Wow.
And your sinuses, and it just provides clarity, provides stability.
Wow.
Lavender is really good for insomnia.
Yeah,
it's
my
relaxing.
daughter is big on lavender.
Yeah, and it's very good for children.
Yes.
Lavender and chamomile are
She
nice.
uses it with the kids.
Yeah, but also
What exactly is lavender used for? I mean, she has lavender everything,
Yeah.
and she does the diffuser
Yeah.
with the lavender.
lavender is a relaxant, so it settles you. So it helps the mind settle so you can go into sleep. Where, you know, the rosemary...
I need to take a couple sips of that.
And you can ingest therapeutic grade
Really?
oils. Yes.
Really?
You can't ingest all oils because you have to be careful
Yeah.
where they come from and how they distill
processed?
them.
Yeah.
That's why I only use Young Living, because they're therapeutic grade. And when I was trained and certified in Dublin to be an aromatherapist, you were taught never put it on your skin neat, which means taking it, concentrate and put it on. You always should use a carry
yoga
oil.
and aromatherapy aren't necessarily the same thing, but they do go hand in hand.
Yes, for me, yes, they do. They're a nice.
Now, you have a
synergistic
book here
practice.
on essential oils.
Yes.
Is that a good book to read?
Yes, this is a great book to read because Gary Young is the founder of Young Living Essential Oils. He's a doctor, and he creates these oils from his own farm. So these I trust them. I can ingest them. Peppermint you can take and put in a drop in hot water, and you can drink peppermint water.
Wow.
And it's very good for the digestive system, just like ginger.
I know as a kid they used to say that. My mother always said, oh, you have a bellyache? Oh, here, take some mint. And that mint was supposed to help.
Right,
Wow.
yes. It's great.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Peppermint. So oils go hand in hand. What's the clear one there at the end?
This one actually is Thieves. Thieves is, it's got a nice story to it. They call it Thieves because it comes from...
Thieves like a thief.
Right.
Oh.
But back in the day, there were robbers that would steal from the dead bodies that had the plague. And when they finally were caught, they were given a lesser sentence because they told why. and they used oils, clove, lemon, rosemary, and there's 2 other ones I can't think of right now. But it's 5 oils that come together that create Thieves. And Gary Young has a whole line of these products. So not only do you have oils, but this is actually like a natural Purell. So
And they're called Thieves because they
it's just like putting a title, a name to something. So it's Thieves because it's the 5 oils that the thieves used to steal from the bodies that died of plague.
Now, what do
So
you do?
not
Just
only,
rub-
this is like, it's like a natural Purell, so there's no alcohol or anything in here.
Wow, and yet it
And
evaporates
so
like
when you don't have the
alcohol.
opportunity to wash your hands, you know, you go out, and then this, you know, it's kind of like the natural Purell.
Yeah, it disappears
And then at the
immediately.
same time, take a sniff. Peppermint, it just stimulating, you know,
Yeah,
wakes
it
you
is.
up and
It's clean.
cleansing, yes,
Yeah.
yes. So it's beautiful. Whoops.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So all these oils go hand in hand. So learning aromatherapy is learning how to live through some of these essential oils.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Aromatherapy is not only a topical, you know, for the
It's also-
body, but like I said, like it's your scents hold meaning. So like I said, like someone who has smelled an apple pie may be a nice scent, but some scents, you know, people smell and like, oh, I can't smell that.
Yeah.
And they say the ones that you have like a reaction to, that you are the ones that you need.
Rhodella, Andy, our cameraman, needs some of those oils right now because he's going crazy,
Okay.
trying to tell us we have about 30 seconds left.
Okay.
Rhodella, what do you want to tell them in those last 30 seconds?
I would like to tell you to open your heart. When you wake up in the morning, do you say to yourself, what is my checklist today? Or do you say, this is an opportunity that God has given me to breathe, to vibrate my love, my joy through my community and trying to make the world a better place?
Wonderful. And that's what we need to say to ourselves every day. Look, spring open house. Where is it? When is it?
Yes, I have a spring open house up in the Adirondacks on April 21st, 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. We are looking for new yoga participants and wellness facilitators. We are looking to start retreats.
Wonderful.
So we want to bring that new, fresh Adirondack air down to,
Westchester and Putnam.
yes.
Sounds good to me. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. It has been wonderful. I'm going to go use some oils, man. I love it.
Thank you for
I love the
having
way
me.
I smell.